It's SVG.
Minutes on to 11 o'clock here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. You're locked on to WEFM 99.9, the Clean Fresh Sound, and this is your It's Your Turn program. Remember, It's Your Turn is an interactive program, so the numbers to call are 457-9997 if you're calling from a local landline, 532-9997 if you're calling from a digital cell phone, or you can call us or send us a message on WhatsApp at 457-9997. The It's Your Turn program is being hosted by Mr. Cecil Ryan. Good morning to you, Cecil.
Good morning to you, Karen, and good morning to all our listeners. Rainy but pleasant morning in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. And I want to especially greet those who are listening on the Star FM, Star Radio, and the Garfina platforms. Good morning to you, and we welcome all of you to the program this morning. Today is July 12, and of course, it's another issue at hand edition coming to you on WEFM, the Clean Fresh Sound. I want to give a hail up to my brethren, Philbert P. John. I hope you're feeling okay this morning. Also, my brethren and colleague, of course, Lansford Weeks. Good morning to you, Lansford. Hope you're doing well. And all the other folks who pay attention to this very informative radio program. And shout out Miss Harold. Good morning to you, Miss Harold. Brother Bristol of in all the way up to Overland. Good morning and welcome to the program. Also want to shout up Brother Mason. Good morning to you and welcome to the program. Of course, can't go without hailing up my good brethren in Block 2000. Good morning to you. And I hope you're doing well. I expect you to be calling in as usual. You're following and calling in as usual. Good morning. And all the folks in the Grenadines, good morning to you. I hope you're getting good rain down there. And those folks who are up all the way up to Fitzhughes, good morning. In the hills and in the valleys, greetings to you and welcome to the program. And of course, I want to greet all those folks all the way up to Fancy and down and in between and over the hills. In fact, I was mentioning my friend and I were talking about Gawo this morning, who jumped the sheep. So Gawo, if you're listening, greetings to you. Special greetings to you. All right, so this morning we're a bit late, and we do apologize to our followers and listeners for being so late this morning. We're getting some things lined up. Wanted to make sure that we have everything lined up for this morning. I think we've done a pretty good job in doing that, so we're about ready to begin. So I want to just introduce our guest this morning. In studio right now, we have our good friend and colleague and comrade, Kojo, Mason. Kojo, greet our listeners for me.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the show. Hope you enjoy.
Yeah, and of course, we also have special guests joining us this morning. His name is Andre Cho Kwan, and he's connected with the Trini Jungle Juice, as in Vinci Mass. Andre, good morning and welcome to the program.
Good morning, St. Vincent and the Grenadines.
Yes.
Yeah, blessed Sunday.
Mm-hmm. Online, we have with us Maxron Holder. Maxron, are you hearing me? Good morning to you.
Yes, good morning. Good morning, everyone. Good morning to your listeners.
Mm-hmm. All right. We were scheduled to have as well on the program this morning Rodney Small, and I hope he will turn up. He hasn't he hasn't turned up yet, but I hope he will before we get fully into the program. Yeah. Of course, you know, those who know, Rodney represents the Carnival Development Corporation, CDC, and he's also president of the European movement. So we wanted him to speak to those two organizations, or speak on behalf, on those two organizations this morning. So hail up to everyone. Good to be on this morning. And I hope everyone is doing fine. And as usual, we deal with positive vibes. And I'm a bit okay. I think I have it. All right. So as usual, we start with our Caribbean Network news by Win Calendar from Barbados. So let's start with that, and then we'll get back into our main topic, which has to do with what we call the creeping maturity of Vinci Mass. So we'll get back to that, but in the meantime, let's go with Win.
This is Caribbean Connection News. Thanks for joining us. I'm Win Calendar, and we begin our Caribbean coverage this week in Georgetown, Guyana. President Irfan Ali on Thursday rejected allegations surrounding his privately owned farm, insisting that the property has always been publicly known and that all investments connected to it have been properly disclosed. President Ali said suggestions that the farm had recently been uncovered were false. But the APNU said it is not buying the president's story. The party said, in addition to an impartial investigation, it wants President Mohammed Irfan Ali to step down. During a press conference on Friday, APNU Member of Parliament, the Honorable Dexter Todd, said the situation requires urgent attention.
It's a worrying situation that requires intervention immediately. And that intervention, we believe, can very well be by the people, because our people must stand up against this as we lead the fight.
The opposition member of parliament said the A Partnership for National Unity is exploring a number of ways to approach the issue, but noted that despite all jurisdiction, the exposing of the president's farm shows signs of a major land scandal.
We have immediately begun to look at our international partners in relation to highlighting, because the call for a sitting president to be removed or step aside from office is going to be a very strong call, which the PPP, I'm sure, are going to ignore. So we are immediately looking at where we can be able to pull our allies, because it's important. This is a major land scandal.
President Ali said the lease governing the land was subject to the same terms and conditions applied to other leaseholders, adding that no state-funded infrastructure or special concessions were provided for the farm's development. He also disclosed that he had received messages and recordings which he believes raised security concerns, saying he had a responsibility to respond to what he described as attempts to distort the facts. We stop next at Roseau, Dominica. Antigua and Barbuda Prime Minister Gaston Brown has reiterated a call for the establishment of an organization of Eastern Caribbean states airline, as he expresses frustration of having to wait hours in order to arrive in Dominica to attend a meeting.
The need for OECS here is even more apropos today, recognizing the frustrations of perpetual flight delays and cancellations among existing carriers. In fact, the patchwork of carriers that we have within the region, leaving regional travelers stranded on a daily basis. You know, on my way to the CARICOM meeting in St. Lucia, I missed the opening ceremony because I had to spend 6 hours on the Barbados airport because Inter-Caribbean could not make a plane available to take us to St. Lucia. In fact, the wait time should have been 1 hour, turned out to be 6 hours. Even coming here to Dominica, even though we had a private charter, there are also delays. So we clearly have a problem when it comes to connecting OECS people. But we also need to understand that there's a greater threat. The curtailing of international flights to the OECS countries by carriers such as British Airways will make the need for OECS air even more urgent.
PM Brown said that the proposed OECS airline will be owned by the governments collectively, operated and managed privately along commercial lines to generate profits to ensure sustainability.
No head will have the right to utilize this new airline as his or her private jet.
From Port of Spain, Trinidad this week, Minister of Tertiary Education and Skills Training, Professor the Honorable Prakash Prasad, is urging public and private sector employers to create opportunities for formerly incarcerated individuals. Speaking at the signing of a memorandum of understanding between the Youth Training and Employment Partnership Program, Vision on Mission, and the American Medical Certification Association, the minister underscored the importance of creating pathways to opportunity for those seeking a fresh start.
Real development must also be measured by how we treat those at the margins, those seeking a second chance, and maybe even a third chance, because we are human beings. This program doesn't stop at training. It goes further. It prepares individuals for life beyond rehabilitation. It provides them with practical, marketable skills. It builds confidence. It creates structure. And importantly, it connects them to pathways that lead to dignity and self-sufficiency.
The minister described the initiative as a strategic investment in the nation's future, saying it has the potential to build safer communities, increase workforce participation, and reduce the social and economic costs associated with recidivism. Centered on the theme, Second Chances Through Higher Education, the partnership reflects a broader national commitment to equipping individuals with the education, professional certifications, and employable skills needed to become productive citizens and contribute positively to society. From Kingstown, St. Vincent, and the Grenadines, Land Management Minister, the Honorable Andrew John, is urging people who were assigned state lands in the lead-up to the November 2025 election to report to the Housing and Lands Development Corporation and start paying for their lots as the government's review of those allocations nears completion. Minister John says that the review is not aimed at taking away land from people who should not have been denied it in the first place. He, however, cautioned that those who benefited from over-generous or irregular distributions should expect their cases to be revisited in the interest of equity. Minister John said that the then Unity Labour Party administration distributed about 250 parcels of land within a month or two of the last election. After winning the general election, the New Democratic Party administration, of which John is a member, conducted an internal review of how those allocations were handled. The minister said the review is now almost completed and the ministry is moving into a case-by-case phase, inviting people to come in individually rather than relying on rumors or political commentary. He added that checks uncovered several problems, including multiple lots to one person, and in some cases, individuals were attributed up to 4 lots, despite a policy that, as a rule, state-owned land for housing should be 1 parcel per person, particularly for those in need. The minister said that there was also repeat beneficiaries in that some people had been offered government land previously, had not yet settled payments on those earlier parcels, and still appeared on the list for new lots. This is a roundup of news from across the Caribbean, produced by Win Calendar for Caribbean Connection News. Our next stop is Bridgetown, Barbados. The Barbados government has launched a new public education campaign reminding citizens of the penalties attached to harboring gangsters and fugitives. The Ministry of Legal Affairs and Criminal Justice said the campaign is part of the ministry's wider crime prevention program, which started with the release of 2 public service announcements. One is entitled, "Hiding Them Will Cost You," which warns against harboring fugitives. And the other, Grant is not going to prison, and that addresses harboring gang members. Legal Affairs and Criminal Justice Minister, the Honorable Michael Lashley, explained that while one of the PSAs addressed the general penalties of harboring fugitives, the other was specific to the recently passed Criminal Gangs Act.
The criminal gangs legislation places very strong penalties on the harboring of gang members and persons who recruit gangs, and the penalties are very stiff. The law still exists with respect to harboring of criminals or persons that you know or have knowledge of that are engaging in criminal activity or gang-related activity. I want Barbadians really to view these two PSAs not only as a warning, but view it as something that you can now go out to your fellow man and say, you know what, join us in this fight, engage in this fight, engage in this public education program. That, yes, in some instances you'll be loyal, but you can't let loyalty bring you into breach of the law.
Minister Lashley said that he had full confidence in the new commissioner of police as the Barbados Police Service reach out and go into communities, since the problem could not be solved by just enforcement.
You have to solve it by reaching into communities and getting persons who are at the brink of touching the criminal justice system, and that persons who are young, that we believe that are vulnerable, might not be part of the criminal justice system, but might be vulnerable to leaders, gang leaders, and drug leaders, and that we must go at the other end and say, you know what, let us get the positive community leaders involved in this crime prevention program.
The Legal Affairs and Criminal Justice Minister added that there will be a wider national education program in crime prevention, which will take a holistic approach, including schools and service clubs. Our next stop is Kingston, Jamaica. While Jamaica continues to grapple with violent crimes, the latest figures from the Jamaica Constabulary Force suggest investigators are making significant headway in solving murders. In a release this week, the JCF said between January 1st and the 4th of July, detectives cleared 304 murder cases, 51 more than the corresponding period last year. With 275 murders recorded over the same period, the release said the number of cases solved outpaced the number of killings committed this year, pushing the murder clearance rate to 111%. Head of the Criminal Investigations Branch, Assistant Commissioner of Police Wayne Josephs, told the media,
I commend the detectives for capitalizing on the golden hours of their investigations. The relentless follow-up and the constant feedback to those who provide guidance to them, as also the victims of the crimes that they have been investigating. We have also been investing heavily in the training and mentorship of our detectives and tapping into the use of technology in order to deliver investigative services of a world-class standard.
Shootings are down by 27%, robberies have declined by 25%, while rapes and break-ins are also on the decline. The police have pointed to increased enforcement activities with more than 3,000 charges laid for major offenses this year.
This success is also credited to the collaborative efforts of the intelligence and operations branches, who provide valuable support in order for us to have been achieving the unprecedented successes that we have been seeing in recent times.
Meanwhile, the Jamaica Constabulary Force is encouraging the public to continue sharing information with investigators, noting that community support remains critical to solving crimes. A news out of Road Town, Tortola, BVI this week. The government of the British Virgin Islands says it has done everything within its power to secure a favorable outcome as it prepares to begin formal constitutional negotiations with the United Kingdom next week. Premier Dr. the Honorable Natalia D. Wheatley expressed confidence ahead of the talks, which are scheduled for July 14th and 15th in the Virgin Islands and will focus on possible revisions to the Virgin Islands Constitution Order 2007. The negotiations represent the next stage of the territory's constitutional review following the work of the Constitutional Review Commission, House of Assembly deliberations, the establishment of the Constitutional Negotiating Committee, and public consultations across the territory. Premier Wheatley told the media the government had worked extensively to prepare its case and engage residents throughout the process.
This process is being done on behalf of people. So every step of the way, we've tried our best to engage persons. The Constitutional Review Commission had over 45 public meetings, a very public process, very transparent. Of course, this was debated in the House of Assembly, another public institution where persons had the opportunity to participate in the process. We published our negotiating position so persons could understand it. And we're taking the additional step now of ensuring that we don't just publish our negotiating position, we actually have a communication plan to ensure that everyone in the society has information about the rationale for certain decisions, what informs certain decisions, so persons can be fully a part of the process. So I think it's good value for money to ensure that the public is educated, because this constitution, when it's finished, is going to represent all of us.
Premier Wheatley said discussions with UK officials have given him reason for optimism, although he acknowledged that some issues would prove more difficult than others.
We've had discussions about it with the current minister. So I believe we have a good shot at getting a number of things we've asked for. The challenge will be with some of the more contentious issues, but I believe that we have done everything within our power to ensure that we get a favorable result.
Responding to questions about whether the negotiations were intended to lead to independence, Premier Wheatley said the constitutional process formed part of the territory's decolonization agenda, but did not predetermine any particular outcome. And finally, this story out of Hamilton, Bermuda. The Bermuda government says no one under the age of 18 can legally consent to getting a tattoo amidst concerns that minors were being tattooed without their parents' knowledge or permission. The Department of Health said that environmental health officers had investigated a local studio, and as a result of the investigation, the studio's operating license has been suspended. The department said that under the Public Health Body Piercing, Electrolysis, and Tattooing Regulations 2001, individuals under the age of 18 are legally prohibited from getting tattoos unless they meet two strict criteria. It said that the young individuals must be accompanied by a parent or legal guardian for the duration of their procedure, and that the parent or legal guardian must provide formal written consent before the tattooing begins. And that is where I leave you this week. For Caribbean Connection News, I am Win Calendar.
Okay, so as usual, we want to thank Win for that comprehensive sweep across, or should I say, news sweep across the Caribbean. As usual, every week he brings a very important component to our program, and again, we thank him for that. As usual, we ask for reactions from those who are listening to the program today. It's your time. And those who are guests online, if you have any reaction to what you heard in the broadcast by Win, you can offer it now. If you're online, same way. Maxron, if you have any comments on what you've heard, Kojo, Andre, and those who are listening to us, any aspect of it. He started with a report. I think it was from Guyana. Then he went to Gaston Brown, Prime Minister Gaston Brown, about his trip, sharing the experience of his trip to Dominica. How it took him how many hours, and then we heard he talked about Jamaica, Barbados, BVI, and also St. Vincent and the Grenadines, of course, and also Bermuda. But I find Gaston Brown's team interesting.
That's the one that got me, because
why it got you?
Because it just gave me a flashback of when I used to be traveling home. You go to Barbados, you sit in the airport for hours. I remember one time I came off the plane. I thought I was getting special treatment when the agent came to the plane and escorted us to a room and then quickly tell us, you're not going to go to St. Vincent tonight.
but what is significant in that experience, yours and his? Then it was Liat.
Yeah, it was Liat.
Right. But interesting thing now, he's saying an OECS airline. What's the difference between an OECS airline and Liat? I should take that back, because there was involvement from the government of Trinidad and Tobago and Barbados.
Right.
But he's talking of an OECS, a smaller grouping. Anybody think that would be better?
Small airlines is going to be an issue in the Caribbean, regardless to what. I don't see, I don't. Liat flew for so much years and they still had issues. So, I mean, there must be some reason why Liat didn't work. Because government used to have to be pumping money into Liat every time,
But if one reads from what Prime Minister Brown said, if one reads from what he said, is that it's a smaller grouping, and he thinks it might work with a smaller grouping, whereas
let's hope
previously, so it's interesting. Somebody's calling. Let's take.
Okay.
Good morning. Welcome to the program.
Morning.
Good morning.
With Gaston Brown comments about regional traveling, I wonder how Skinny Fabulous is making out, because you had the wet fete maybe 2 weeks ago. They say he performed like 7 o'clock in the morning. And either Sunday evening or Sunday night, he's in St. Kitts. And Monday morning, he's flying out of St. Kitts back to St. Vincent. He's in Baltimore yesterday. And he's going to be in St. Lucia this week. And you had Soca in the Hill in Barbados. I don't know if
we're not talking about Skinny Fabulous, We're talking about Prime Minister Gaston Brown.
Regional channel.
What's that?
Right. So, but I want to know his experience getting ready to be able to, if he's facing any of those challenges. That's what I would like to know, because
you perhaps have to call him. We're not in touch with Skinny Fabulous on that issue. We're taking from what Wynn just reported about the experience of Prime Minister Brown going from Antigua, Barbuda to a meeting in
St. Lucia.
No, it's Dominica, isn't that what he said?
No, I think he went to St. Lucia.
He went to St. Lucia. And he was recounting his experience going just a few miles away from Antigua. And that is what we were talking about.
Yeah, but you remember you had Fire Empress in the studio a couple of weeks ago, where she had took 11 hours to get from Tobago to St. Kitts, with going to 6 different countries.
Can you comment on the experience of Prime Minister Brown as was related in the story?
Well, it's normal. Okay. It's normal for a long time, even with the regional travel. I told Cecil was on a station when he was in the airport, a station to the extreme right of your station, no pun intended. And I told him, I said, even with an international airport, we will still be going through Barbados, Trinidad, Grenada, St. Lucia, etc. Because, you may not have an international flight every day, So if you want to travel on a specific date, you may have to do an in-transit flight in order to get to your destination. So I'm not surprised by any of that. I expect that.
All right.
The second thing I could comment on too is the Guyana situation. There are a lot of ministers in Guyana with this controversy. Now a lot of ministers with property. There's one lady, Susan Rodriguez. She bought a $500,000 US property in Florida. And they want
Let's comment. Let's restrict our comments to what Wynn reported in his piece. He talked about something to do with the Prime Minister. In the
interest of time, I'm going to abandon my comments.
It's not time. It's in the interest of responsibility. All right. Thanks for calling. Yeah, Kojo. Sorry, you were making the point. Are you finished?
No, the Wynn Canada is talking about the airport. That airport problem was in existence long time. Liat never worked. It helped, but it never really worked. I don't see any other airline, because Caribbean Airline 1 or something, whatever. I used it once in my life.
Well, he said he was waiting on a flight of Caribbean Airlines to get to where he was going.
And I think they started off, and I think they end up with the same problem like Liat. I don't know.
But he's proposing that the OECS come together and start an airline.
Create a new Liat.
That's really the essence of what the insult is about. And I would like to restrict our comments on that, because it's interesting that he's talking about now, so many years after Liat. I'm sorry. I forgot you. I heard you wanted to come a while ago, but I was sorry. Yes, go ahead.
Yes, Liat. I think Liat 2020 came into being in 2020. That was intending to replace the old Liat. But for some reason, the same issues that plagued the old Liat seems to be plaguing this new Liat. Last month, I was trying to come from the Virgin Islands, and they called me the Friday. I had a flight on Saturday, and they called me the Friday and told me that my flight from the Virgin Islands to Antigua was going to be canceled, and I wouldn't get a flight until the next week, which was very bizarre to me, because how is it that I wouldn't get a flight for the next 7 days? And then what is interesting is that I spoke to a colleague of mine a few days ago who had a similar issue trying to get out of St. Vincent on said Liat, where they said, the next available flight will be in 7 days' time. And they were just trying to get to St. Lucia. And I think they were trying to attend a tournament, I think, in St. Lucia. And Liat basically said to them that, and mind you, Antigua's government owns 30%, I think, in this new Liat, and 70% is owned by, I think, an African company. So I don't know what...
Peace, I think it's called.
Exactly.
Yes.
So I don't know what... how I don't know what's going on with Caribbean airlines in the Caribbean in general, because we see the same problem with Inter-Caribbean, because for some reason I'm between... Every time I gravitate to a particular airline, they disappoint me. I got to Inter-Caribbean, I felt good about it, then they disappointed me. Then I went to Liat, and then they disappointed me. I don't know what is going on.
Maybe Prime Minister Brown has a bright idea about starting an OECS airline, and hopefully that would solve the problem. Hopefully.
But to solve a problem, right, we first have to find out what is the root cause, right? And none of these airlines clearly has found the root cause. I want to assume it has to do with scheduling and destinations. So they need to know where's the heavy bulk of people traveling to and from, and then dissecting the rest of the islands. So say, for instance, I get on a flight from Trinidad going to Guadeloupe, and it stops in St. Lucia. But the majority of people, the flight starts off full, it reaches St. Lucia, and then it's light. And then 2 people might get on, and then out of 30 people, 5 people goes on to Guadeloupe. Then they have to say, hey, is this financially worth it for us to carry on this route? And they take too long before they make that decision. So then it might be a loss lead, like it'd be a loss to the company going to Guadeloupe. They have to then cut that route. But then it makes travel tougher for everybody in the region, because if you live in Guadeloupe or Martinique, how do you get to Port of Spain for a meeting if it flies once a week and then that one flight might get canceled? So it's a lot. It has to do with definitely scheduling, and they have to figure out the Caribbean, what is the best optimal schedule for getting people around, which are the most travel routes, least travel routes, and maybe just have a flight that's specifically set for the least travel routes that runs twice a week, so it's always sold out, or once a week if it's least often travel. And the most often frequent travel routes need to be beefed up. And we're talking about this, but I had a flight yesterday that was from Union back to St. Vincent, and I got a call. My flight was at 5:30. They said, hey, get to the airport at 3:30. They don't know if I was in a meeting, if I had an important beach appointment. I had to stop what I was doing and get to the airport at 3:30. So we have to be, in the Caribbean, we have to be as flexible as the airlines. And I don't know why the airlines operates like maxi taxis. I think we have to stop that to start. We land, we pick up passengers, and we go. And if we're late, you have to wait. And if we're early, you need to be early. And if we change our mind, you have to then change your schedule. And that should not be how our company operates to start.
Yeah. All right. Maybe they need to work on a principle of division of ability. In other words, if you're the one that can best serve Dominica, St. Lucia, Martinique, Guadeloupe, stick with that.
Correct.
In terms of marketing. If you're the one best suited to serve Barbados, Grenada, St. Vincent, Trinidad, do that. But don't go into the other areas. Maybe they need to sit down and organize themselves.
And you might be onto something. Don't start a new airline that will have the same problem.
Yeah,
let's work together. So maybe Liat might tell Caribbean Airlines, let's co-partner this sector of the market, because when we bring passengers here, you could take them from here and go carry on, and we'll split the cost. So the profit.
Interchanging the tickets, like the tickets.
Yeah, they can work out something.
Work together.
It's a matter how they want to divide up the fruits. There's another. Anybody else want to comment on this? If not, we can go on another part of one of the story that he mentioned. The question of what came out to me was the constitutional issue in the BVI.
The tattoos.
Well, the tattoos is an interesting one. I think this is the Bermuda one that dealt with the tattoo. Well, maybe we could quickly deal with that and move on. What do you think? What do you guys think?
It's kind of strange that
there's an age limit.
I mean, in the Caribbean, we do all kinds of things at any age.
No, but in terms of them, Bermuda,
I know, but
their constitution is the.
I mean, it's just like in America, you could go to the war and you could kill people and you could do all kind of thing like that, but you can't buy a beer until you're 21. You can't. At
which age you can go to the war? We have a call. Let's take the call and that. Good morning. Welcome to the program.
Good morning. Anthony Stewart calling from Union Island.
Yes, good morning to you, Anthony.
I would like to speak on the airline issue.
We had moved on from there, but as you're going to raise it, go ahead. We had moved on.
My experience in Barbados was that there was an airline on the ground more than 1 hour. I was there waiting to get on the flight, and they wouldn't put me on the flight. I got the impression that they were more interested in filling their hotel spaces rather than getting the passengers where they want to go. All right. We seem to be very territorial when we are thinking about airlines and traveling. And I think that is inhibiting our ability to cooperate and to get passengers where they want to go.
What would you suggest as a possible solution?
We need to link up with the airlines that we have and meet the needs where they are needed, where they arise. The idea is to get people where they want to go, when they want to go, and to be consistent and reliable. And that is the approach that we need to adapt.
And how do you achieve that? How do you manifest that approach and achieve that?
Well, the people who study traffic study where people want to go. And the other thing is the airfares. Why should it cost?
Before you go on to the airfares, let's see, what solution would you suggest? I mean, we know the problem now. We're familiar with the problem, even from the Liat experience. What would you consider to be a reasonable solution?
The reasonable solution is this. The airfares must be cheap enough that people want to travel and they can make a little profit. And things should be structured in that manner. There should be interconnectivity between all the islands and the international carriers so that we don't have duplication of service.
All right, thanks.
I agree.
It sounds reasonable, I think.
Right.
We can come back.
It's the same thing that he was saying.
Yeah, the same thing.
Yeah.
We can come back, but we were looking at the tattoo situation in Bermuda.
I just find it funny that people make these laws that you can't do things at a certain age, but you could do. Like I say, in America, you could go out to the war at 18 and you could kill people, but you can't.
And you can get killed.
And you can get killed. You can't buy a beer. You can't buy a pack of cigarette until they're 21. I don't know who come up with this random number in the head. They're like, okay, 18 is for this and 21 is for that. If I could go out and kill somebody at 18 in a
and get killed, you're missing that part.
Why I can't kill myself by drinking a beer?
Can't drink a beer until you're 21.
But a tattoo.
To me, I'm an artist, so I don't see. I can't see you giving like a child like a real adolescent that. But somebody like 15, because most of the adult consenting age in the Caribbean is 15 and up. For sex and all that kind of stuff.
I'm not sure. I think it's 18.
No, since 15.
Yeah, I think in the case of St. Vincent, yes.
No, yeah. So,
but 18 is the official legal age. 18 is official.
That's what people are saying, but on the books it's 15.
In the Constitution,
yes.
For voting is 18.
No, for voting, but okay. I'm talking about. Because you make an adult decision when you have sex, because you could have babies. So if you're going to tell me that I could do that, make those decisions by, having babies at that age, but I can't have a tattoo.
What exactly is the law for the tattoos that they want?
Well, apparently they're saying that it's the Ministry of Health, I think,
right.
as
suggested or saying that it should
intervene in a particular shop and prohibited them from doing tattoo on youngsters who are under 18.
Okay.
So you have to be 18 or under.
To get a tattoo in Bermuda. Okay.
So that's interesting.
Yeah.
All right. Last comment on the constitutional thing in the Bahamas. In the Virgin Island. Remember they were saying that they're now negotiating as part of their decolonization process, they're going to be pushing for going to the UK, I guess, to have talks about
reparations.
Not reparations, to advance their constitutional arrangement.
Oh, for independence.
Well, they didn't quite say independence, but I don't know if that's that's part of it. Maybe. What they said though, they've had a number of consultations with their people, and they're now ready. That's what the person said, the Prime Minister. They're now ready to engage the British. But I don't know if it's for independence or what. Maybe it's independence.
To me, the only reason for you to engage the British for anything is for independence.
Well, in the case of the BVI, they're not.
It's two, either reparation or independence.
No, it's not reparation.
No, as I'm saying, there's only two things they could do.
But the BVI is not an independent country like St. Vincent and the Grenadines or Trinidad and Tobago.
I know.
So they have to. They want to advance their status.
Yeah,
I think that's what the Prime Minister was saying. But the interesting thing to me is that he's saying they've had wide consultation and many consultations with the people, and the people agree with their position, whatever that is. So, and again, that's from wins
Perspective.
No, that's you're actually reporting the news.
Yeah.
That happened in
BVI.
In the BVI.
Yeah.
So he was actually reporting. All right. So time is running, and we have to go to our main event, which is to look at Vincy Mas. Okay. I want to come to it by playing this in a little bit, and we all recognize it. One of our legends.
July in the sun, July getting down. Vincy Mas, I tell you, Vincy Mas, I want you. Rama, Market Square, disco everywhere. Vincy Mas, I tell you, Vincy Mas, I want you. Get down in the sun, make love in the sun, drink your whiskey in the sun, let us get high in the Vincy sun. I will tell you, I will warn you, Vincy Mas, I warn you.
So that piece they gave out the aging of the song.
Oh, yes.
Disco, Panorama Market Square. What else he said?
There's no more Market Square for sure.
Certainly, that's you talk about drink your strong rum. That line is coming later on.
That's predominantly now.
Well, that's what
there's strong rum in that song. Like, what? Long live strong rum.
But this was 43 years ago.
Yeah, that's how long.
43 years ago.
And that's how long Vincent been singing about strong rum.
Well, there's one man, and we need to identify the man who's singing it. You remember?
Oh, that's the ABC.
The ABC, Beckett.
Yeah.
As the ABC Beckett of that was him in 1983. That's when that song came out. When he came out, backed of course by, not backed, but accompanied by the great Frankie McIntosh. That was Frankie's arrangement. Very simple, very catchy, the bass line especially, and all of it. Very professional in terms of the sounding and so on. But what I find interesting is that Market Square, disco.
Well, they don't have no disco anymore.
well, the disco has been replaced by something else. We come to that. But Maxron, any reflection? That was long before your mother was born, man.
Well, I can certainly say that it was long before I was born.
What do you think?
Because there are some things that Beckett would mention in his songs, and I would ask about them. So, for example, with I Want Soca, when it starts by Ricky Discotheque. So one day I had to ask, what is this place called Ricky Discotheque?
He also mentioned Bhishma in that song. In that same song you mentioned. Yeah. Do you know what is Bhishma? Who is Bhishma?
Of course not.
Because you better tell him.
Bhishma was the original DJ for the street bar.
He was the DJ.
Yeah, he was the DJ
of the day.
Bhishma plays and everybody goes with Bhishma plays. Yeah, so and Ricky Disco was right by the
South River Square. South River Square.
That's what they call it. That's where the Kentucky Fried Chicken in Annisville is.
No,
Ricky Disco.
Oh, you mean going up to
Kane Hall?
Not in Kane.
Yeah.
But his bar, but the bar, as we talk about Vincy Mas, the bar was in Kingston.
Yeah, the bar was in Kingston.
Carnival bar.
Right.
So I started with that to tell us to focus our minds on Vincy Mas. So Beckett has given us the prescription the components of Vincy Mas, basically. So let's go to see, we come back to that, we'll come back, but let's go to see what Vincy Mas is like today. And I want to play this clip by somebody.
This is around my land.
Oh, this is not what I want to play yet. Sorry about that. So that's not what I want to play yet. I want to play this one first.
Let's talk about my St. Vincent Carnival experience as a first timer. St. Vincent, I'm ready to book my trip for next year. I'm ready to be back there. Really parties come out this time with them. I am coming. Let me first start out with saying the people did not disappoint. The people was a vibe. Every party I touched down to was a vibe. The people were so welcoming to me. So much of you all know me, like damn poor little me, but a lot of you, all the love was definitely received. Let me just say the parties. It started off a little slowy, but you see when the parties pick up, it was pure vibes, action, and everything else. Everything you hear about St. Vincent, just believe. You will be sleep deprived. You will be tired. You have to keep up. Drink the energy drinks. Get 2 hours rest and be back outside because it is pace. It is pace. Especially in the last couple of days, you see, from Friday to Tuesday, not to get no sleep at all. Just be sleep deprived, but it's worth it. It's worth every second of being outside. Tear not. You see, Sheep Branch won't mean nothing at all. I stand for 8-hour shift inside the Sheep Branch. I was in the party from after 12 o'clock straight to 9 o'clock. Like, when the music shut off, that was the right to go. My feet were so sore, but it was sore for a good reason. Sheep Branch, you have my money, you have my heart. I'm not a drinker, but when I tell the people to get your drinks, the drinks were flowing. There wasn't skimping on the drinks at all. Another awesome part.
I don't. She calling some names. I'm not sure what they are. But
I think he might know more about his party.
I happened to be in those events.
But
I was not.
I want to pause on that. I'll bring her back. But I want to give a chance for you guys to comment. Bearing in mind where we came from with Beckett in 1983 to today. And I have a sample of some of the winners from today's Vincy Mas to play, but I'll come to them in a while. But just to establish the data points, where we were in 1983 as opposed to today. Your take?
Well, I say we have gone a long way. And somehow, in terms of the entertainment part of it, I think we has evolved. I think in the cultural part is where we struggle in terms of the costuming and like I was telling them already, like we have 2 sets of carnival costumes. We have what we call it. It says in our mass camp. I don't know if it says on the street, but we call them the party band. And
let's, for people listening, just identify your mass band.
My mass band is just pitchy players.
Okay.
And so the party band is like Mirage and
Oxygen.
Oxygen. Okay.
Yeah.
So those are the party bands, but we call them the party bands. Mm-hmm. And a lot of somehow it seems that the party bands that go is where people want to go. Mm-hmm. And they're moving away from the traditional, bands that like Nelson Block, Lynx and all that stuff. Mm-hmm. Because those bands are really just like how the all-inclusive parties are the thing, those all-inclusive bands are the thing now too. You have to be able to give people a full package. People don't want to buy anything. They don't people prefer to have, when they spend the money, they give you money one time, they don't want to be going in the pocket again to bring out money to buy anything else. They say, okay, $1,500 for my party for today. They give you $1,500, they get the drinks, the food, they get everything. They don't need to, and I think CDC, we're going to put it into CDC. I think CDC have to find some way to market carnival in that kind of
Before you come to that conclusion, let's hear from Andre, because Andre was involved in one of those.
Yeah, well,
Andre. So 100%. I guess, agree and disagree, right? So what you guys call party bands is what we will call in Trinidad pretty mass,
Okay.
right? And pretty meaning women want bikini and beads and feathers and things that looking pretty, because we're in this social media age where everything has to, if it's not on social media, it didn't happen, right? So instead of living in the moment where you're just out and enjoying yourself, enjoying the culture, there are people who are coming now to take that, but they want to showcase it in the best form that they believe is the best form, right? So if I come to St. Vincent and the Grenadines and I play Carnival, I want the nicest costume where I feel as if I'm on a Victoria's Secret's fashion show, right? So everybody can be, oh, so pretty. Where's that? Where can I get that costume? Blah, 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 blah. Now, to speak to your point, the culture, right, which is the most important part of any carnival. You can't get rid of the culture, but we have to make the culture cool. And we always have to keep the culture, the culture will never go away, but how do we keep the culture relevant? And I think that is the struggle now we have to balance in St. Vincent, is how do we take what is traditional mass and make it cool traditional mass? That's in the the year 2026.
Cool as in your age, young people.
Cool as in, yeah, because we always, even myself, right? You always want to be relevant, you have to keep reinventing yourself, which means going downwards. Otherwise, you'll extinct. Eventually, you will.
Yeah, well, true.
Right? So tradition is still there, culture is still there, but it's in a new form. And I'll give a good example. But as you're talking, I was laughing. When I started playing mass, when a woman, and this is, I don't know about the rest of the countries at carnivals, but in Trinidad and Tobago, the one woman that wore a thong was a sketal, an old thing. It's like, what is this woman doing? Woman was appalled. But we go into church on Sunday and pray for this one woman. She wearing a thong. Today, if you wear a regular, what they call a bottom or a panty, you're an old woman. It's like, look at this old woman. Everybody wearing thongs. Now, it is cool and it is hip to wear a thong. So the whole thing has reversed. And I watched it happen. I'm like, we went from wearing a proper full bottom. The thong was for the one woman who was really outgoing. And now all the women thing. And now you're seeing the stockings and leggings going away too.
Yeah, I think people used to wear stockings to hide sort of.
Yeah. I feel more covered. Cellulite, whatever you might be. And that is, if you're wearing that, you're a granny. You have to now come with just your thong, right? But that's the evolution of carnival. We could either choose to embrace it and adjust with the times, or we could ignore it and fade. Right?
Hold on. What's your take on this?
I completely agree with Andre here, because I would say with regard to the party bands, quote unquote, when they are released in February, it's like social media goes crazy. Everybody wants, I'm gonna make my down payment on this. So as Andre said, we have to get with the times and we have to see what persons are interested in, and adopt is not a matter of saying, as Andre was saying, staying in the times. So Vintimas has come a long way, and now it's just for us and the traditional bands to get with the times.
Yeah. And I mean, just to jump in there, and as we're talking, my mind is going wild, running with ideas, right? If you, for instance, SPG players, took a trending designer of a party band from any country, right? Let's say Trinidad and Tobago, because I'm from Trinidad, so I'll plug Trinidad. And this person comes to SPG players and you say, hey, I want to keep our authentic feel of what we produce today, but I want you to make it somewhat hip like a party band, but I don't want to look like a party band. And they give a hybrid. Trust me, I'm telling you right now, your numbers will double the next year when people see that, hey, SPG players just took what they have, but they tweak it. So now again, a hybrid of party band feel, or look, I should say look, not feel, look, but again, SPG players feel of the culture. And small little tweaks, you might be hesitant at first, but we have to keep embracing that aspect of change, but not changing the identity.
Mm-hmm. I want to finish this insert by the person. She's her accent.
It's Bajan.
Sounds
It sounds like Bajan.
Bajan for sure.
Yeah, so
when you hear all inclusive, just know that you get your money's worth. Just know that you get your money's worth. The only thing about AM that had me is that you got buy drinks to get a table when it's already done an all inclusive party. I just want a table. I don't want drinks because that's the only thing that had me. But other than that, food top tier. I went to India and had food. I went to Africa and had food. When people talk about food, the people wasn't skimping. It was authentic food. Love it. Everything I eat, the tastes so damn good. Everything I eat was a top tier. I felt like if I was in a 5-star restaurant. Carnival Monday, your girl in Mount Soy, because I was disappointed, so I stayed. But you see Carnival Tuesday, you see the Tuesday mass. Oh, it was a vibe. It was a top vibe. And I like the fact that you do the round, the first round, then come off the road, have lunch, recuperate. We see that second round, that is where the action start. You see that second round, just have energy. It was just a big vibe. It was like everybody know the assignment. Just vibe. Just have fun. Just, it was, I feel like the rain could have stopped this jam. At one point, I thought the rain was it was a storm coming. The rain could have stopped the vibe. It was just a big vibe. Get that. My phone was beeping. The other way when I charge my phone, just don't make alarm come on. Phone back. But it was worth it. It was worth it. If I don't match up my phone that day, it'll worth it. I had a big vibe. If you're thinking, but can you flight? Maybe tell me. But that flight to St. Vincent, you will not be disappointed at all. If you want to be able to say next year, be able to say, because I know that you'll say. And the only thing I will say, Vincent Army, is the food. I had a tired eating chicken wings. There's not a lack of chicken wings inside of St. Vincent. Chicken wings. I'm surprised that I come back home with feathers. Oh God, I wouldn't have me chicken wings. I don't want food. I just want food. That's the only thing I was lacking. But AM make up for the food, but I just really, really want food. St. Vincent ain't lack of fireworks either. You see fireworks after every performance. Fireworks can't done. Even fireworks in daytime, you can't see nothing but just no fireworks taking off. That is really a fire island. I call it Rum Island. I call it Fire Island. Y'all, it was a big vibe. But that trip coming outside 2027, I am coming.
So this has become Vinci Mars. Let's allow Beckett to take over.
Just get high in that Vinci sun. I will tell you, Vinci Mars. I tell you, I will warn you. Vinci Mars, I warn you. Juve in the morning. All day long, Vinci Mars, I tell you, Vinci Mars, I warn you. The boneless woman in the band, Beckett, she man, Vinci Mars, I tell you, Vinci Mars, I warn you. Get down. love in the sun. Drink your pretty in the sun. Let us get high in the Vincy sun. I will tell you, Vincy Mas, I tell you. Vincy Mas, I want you.
Well, even our Bajan friend warned other people that she's coming with. But Beckett was doing the warning from since 1983. Interesting.
She said next year she done book already for next year, and anybody who won't follow her come.
Yes, interesting. Incidentally, before you come in, Andre, I just want to remind our listeners, in as much as we did advertise to have Bryan Alexander on the program, he's slightly under the weather. And we might hear from him by telephone, but he sent an excuse to say that, to excuse himself from the program because he's slightly under the weather. So we understand that. Likewise, Rodney Small was supposed to be on. He too is sending a message to say he's not feeling well, and therefore he won't be on. But Bryan might call in, so we're hoping that he would call in. Yes, so... so that's we are seeing from 1983 when Beckett sang about strong rum and so on and so forth. The difference, as you pointed out earlier, Kojo, Beckett sang about disco everywhere. Now it's party everywhere.
Yeah.
And the parties seem to be having, the private parties seem to be having the swing in Vincy Mas.
Well, she said it. She said
said it. The young lady said it in what she said.
You notice she never said anything about Victoria Park in terms of shows in Victoria Park. She didn't even.
But it's Independence Park, not Victoria Park.
Independence Park.
Yeah.
I
maintain
right now, I just saying Park. I should just be saying Park because I don't know which name I'm supposed to call it.
It's Independence Park. That name was some people insist in retaining, quote unquote, this colonial.
Okay.
But just like how the people.
This is where Soca Monarch was, Independence Park now, not Victoria Park.
It's Independence Park. It was renamed, but some people don't recognize it.
Good to know.
It's part of the decolonization process, which they talk about in the happening in the BVI.
Right.
I respect that. In fact, our good friend, something on the program, Joel Providence, he might be listening. He's one who insists that he can relate to colonial names like Murray Road.
Oh yeah, right.
I know that he hates to drive Murray Road simply because it's called Murray Road. He knows the history of that, the naming. So yes, Andre, you were coming in. I was making the point earlier that, and you guys come in at any point you want to come in, because you're having an open discussion.
Yeah.
The way in which Vincy Mas, as highlighted by Beckett in that song, has changed. But there are some fundamental things he said in that song, which remains to certainly the rum.
Yeah, the rum ain't going nowhere.
Stay far, but stay close. That's all I gotta say, guys. No, but I went to, interesting enough, there was an event called Solaris, Breakfast Fete, and Beckett he performed there last year, and there were people that booked their tickets to return to that party with the expectations that Beckett would have been back. Now, my understanding, I reached Trini time, so I was late. I don't know if Trini or Vincentian's more late, but I was late. And there was another artist that performed, I don't know his name, that was also old school. I don't use the word old school, that's someone from back. Which name?
Poser.
Oh, Poser.
So I missed Poser. So I want to say, first of all, kudos and shout out to the promoters of Solaris for doing what you're doing, because it is so vital to try and bring the best of both worlds together. Like, I don't want to go to an event that just have old school performance and artists. I'd also would like, I'm going to an event also have, the recent ones might be too much, but when you can bring both worlds together, is the best again. So imagine I go to a party and I see the Skinnies, Problem Child, the Jasper, and then all of a sudden a poser or a Beckett, and you get the history, and they say, hey, they're in the party, and they say, this is what Vinci is about. And y'all, I tell you, y'all, every island have a sauce, but they have these special ingredients in the sauce that make your sauce unique to you. And Vinci people now starting to taste Vincentian sauce. And when I say now is just like the Bayesian, how she gave a reaction, the sauce bubbling, it bubbling. And it's just a matter of, all right, we want to give everybody a taste, but we want to make sure that the sauce also protected. That becomes the issue. We can't just have everybody come and bottle the sauce and take it wherever they want to take it. But even if they try, they'll never, ever really be able to duplicate the sauce that's created here locally. Because it's special to Vinci and Vinci alone.
She mentioned the energy, and everybody mentions the energy and the vibe.
Yeah. I figured that out already. I figured it all out.
Okay.
I don't know if you all do it, but Vincentians, y'all have this kind of very hyper, I want to say, what's the word, boy? Like a kind of gummy bear dance. It's like a wiggly, shake your leg and like a rubber band.
Yeah, there's a name for the dance.
There's a name for that dance?
Yeah. I don't know.
Please. I'm talking about young kids doing it from kids.
No, there's a name.
Dapping?
Or something like that.
I don't know the name. Maybe somebody
who knows.
So this artist, DC Daxi.
So that's why I call dapping, because I think that's from her.
Him, the same guy who sing that status, like Skinny.
Yeah.
And I saw a young kid came on and Soca Monarch was also doing the dance. But that energy from a young age, I was watching, I say, wait, if you're all doing that from a young age, that dance alone is just an energy. That if you stand up next to somebody and they come to me and they start to shake, I just all of a sudden start to move. I'm like, wait, why am I moving for? But that coming through from then to now, your energy is on top tier. Like, I understand why Vincentians don't party normal, and the energy will be unmatched for sure. But I think it's because of that dance for me.
Okay, Maxron, what's the name of the dance?
I have no idea what the name of the dance is. I didn't even know that it had a name.
Yeah, it does have a name. I noticed.
All dance have names.
Yeah.
No, but this one is given. I've seen it before by what's his name, from Bilinji, from who's into filming, from Orange Hill.
Okay.
But it's unique to you guys. I've never gone to any other island and see people dance that dance, like this rubber band, fling your legs, and then
it is in fact unique. I remember him making the case that it should.
Okay, apparently it's called dab. I asked
dab.
Yes.
DABB?
Yeah.
Right. But that dance has an energy to it that creates an energy in all events. Imagine, and that energy just becomes infectious to everybody that stands around.
I'll tell you, you're right with that, because in our group for Kiddies Carnival, this kid came from New York. And he was doing that dance.
Yeah.
I mean, all the kids start moving.
Trust me.
He was like the bomb. He just went on stage and just, because he had his own, as a matter of fact, he had a little video out telling, I'm coming to St. Vincent to mash up the stage.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he put out a video saying, I'm coming to St. Vincent to mash up the stage, and he was doing that same dance.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's...
Yeah, because one of the artists brought a young kid and said, this is the feature, and the kid started to do at Soca Monarch and the Power Soca, and same dance. And I filmed it. It's on Trini Jungle Juice Instagram. But that energy. Plus, you all do some, obviously the Baygon. Let's talk about Baygon though. I have a concern here. Baygon, as Fireman Hooper say, is the culture, right? Sunset is the culture for Vinci. If I go to a Soca Monarch in Vinci and I don't see one, I wouldn't even say one, if I don't see at least 10 Baygon lighters in the air, I'm ready to go home. I am bored. That's what I'm coming to Soca Monarch to see. The crowd, energy, the Baygon cans, the lighters. If it's not there, something missing. So I don't understand when I see the authorities saying grab the bacon cans that is illegal, take it away, and from the folks that are doing it, and taking it out of their hands. Because to me, that's the culture. That's Vinci.
But isn't it a dangerous thing?
I have not seen anybody hurt or harm, and there's a lot of things. Sunset is also dangerous.
I was just about to say that because
rum is dangerous.
I've never seen a flag.
So hold on, rum is dangerous to the drinker,
right?
But the bacon can get out of hand in terms of the
I think
possibility.
I want to say
to the audience, not necessarily.
I want to say yes, but also the audience grabbing the barricades and running up and down with it is also dangerous to people around them, but it happens. It is part of the culture. And the bacon can, those guys, believe it or not, they're experts in their own rights.
I was just about to tell you that because I have never seen one of those flags catch a fire.
Yeah, is it a killer bee crew?
These guys throw this bacon fire up and the flag's waving. And I'm like, I'm waiting to see one of them catch a fire, and they never. For some reason,
let's knock on wood. I knock on wood here, guys. I'm just saying it is part of the culture, right? I don't want to. It cannot go away. I don't want to say. I don't want to say it should not ever go away. But it's part of the resistance of Carnival because it's now illegal. Grab it. The resistance to bring it is also part of our culture, which is what Carnival started on. The resistance, the rebellion, right? Hey, you can't tell us what to do. We will do what we want to do. Is freedom. And freedom is Carnival.
As well, all of this Vinci Mass. That's what Vinci Mass is.
Yeah.
But there are other concerns in terms of the economics of Vinci Mass now. I know, well, Beckett in his song talked about Panorama Market Square. He didn't mention, did he mention Mass? I don't think he did in his song. But it's implied anyway, it's implied. And well, in other songs, he didn't mention Mass. And well, I'm sorry that Rodney is not in, but I hope he could call us to give his contribution on the PAN. Have you, Andre? Did you attend any of the PAN? I
have any pass. I missed it this year. I flew in on Friday.
Oh, so
right? But I attended any pass. I did an interview with Cass this Trinidad Carnival, and he said a clear statement: PAN, steel pan, is the cornerstone of Carnival.
Well,
I don't know if you guys feel the same way, but in Trinidad, it is the cornerstone.
Well, there are three fundamental elements here. There's the Mass, the pan, and Mass, pan, and Calypso. So and I don't know if you had a chance to listen to the Calypsos, but somebody's calling. I'll take the call and come back. Good afternoon. Welcome to the program.
Hey, good. It's good afternoon already. How you doing, guys? I mean, Dexter Rose here.
Dexter. I was checking in, man. I was to check you out to come on, but anyway, you're there anyway.
No problem, man. No problem. I didn't get the memo. I shouldn't come on. It's only for the board members.
Good one. Yes.
It's bacchanal. It's bacchanal.
Yes.
Let me just say some quick things as you go through. For the younger ones, that building, which is now St. James University, the medical school, was built by Ulrich Ricky Hillocks.
Oh yes, right. You need to give it next to Massey Arnoldville.
Right, this is St. James University building.
Right,
that building was built as a discotheque, and when that was built, it was way ahead of any, and I say that without reservation, any discotheque in the Caribbean region. As a teenager, I performed with my group Black Orpheus. That's where Mastermind and all the bands performed. It was an amazing discotheque, you know. But so when Beckett make reference to that, that is what he is talking about, right? The Barbadian girl, CDC should use her to advertise Vinci Mass. What she's speaking about there is the vibe which Vinci Mass creates. Like we say, we don't party normal. We have taken that pretty mass, as the Trini brethren say there, and has made it into an all-inclusive fete on the streets. They give them breakfast, They give them lunch, they give them snacks later on, and they party normal. Why old people like me would probably feel a little queasy about seeing ladies almost naked is an age of liberated women. The women feel liberated when they do that. That is their vibe. And that is going to continue. The challenge that Kojo and them facing and the old school bands is how do you match that? Kojo, you don't have to play Batimas, as they say. But I think the revelers want beyond that. They want that all-inclusive feel. Like when they come to a band, they don't have to be hungry going down the road. They get a little breakfast if it's not baked and saltfish. So Kojo, players and them got to consider these things.
Well, that's the same thing I was trying to make. The point I was trying to make is that we have to learn how to use the party band play and still maintain our
concept.
You know, but because where I see people spending money today, when they spend $100 for something, whatever, if you're giving them food, breakfast, and they'll spend $100 and know they don't have to spend another single cent come that day.
They will spend $300 instead of $100. We know the guaranteed that are being taken care of.
Right, and that's the point. I'm saying that even CDC have to get into that too.
But even CDC got to learn that.
Yeah.
Because the only thing constant in life is change. Eh?
Yeah.
I've been playing carnival since I was 5. And I've seen the carnival. I don't play mass anymore, but you can't stop the vibe that's going on. The bands know one section in Oxygen or Mirage is very often larger or almost as large as the traditional bands. And there's a reason for that, and people spending thousands of dollars. It's a wake-up call for the traditional band leaders. What are people spending their money for? Are you going to sit down and criticize them that they're taking a loan from a credit union or a bank to play mass? That's what carnival has become. And people are paying from Barbados, from Trinidad, from the US, from Canada, from England, to come and participate in that. And it's either deal with it or you stay home. If you want to stay home and complain, you can stay home and complain, but the carnival is going on. Now,
Dexter, could you just hold a minute? Let me ask Andrew to comment on the point you just made. That the Vincy Mass has become internationalized or regionalized.
Yeah.
What's your...
Yeah. I 100% I agree with what he's saying. Now, Kojo, SVG players, your band is not all inclusive.
No.
Right? You provide this food.
No,
So here's the thing. I still believe that you have to have choice when it comes to carnival. Because you have a lot of people who don't want, I don't drink. Why giving you $1,000 and I don't drink alcohol? Just to drink water. So I want to play in a band that could just give me water. So there's a hybrid that could be formed as well, where SVG players, or I don't know if Blondie is all-inclusive or not, they could then introduce a section that's an all-inclusive section of the band. So you could choose to be in the all-inclusive section and pay the all-inclusive price, and then you don't worry about food and drinks. But for the average man who don't want to have all-inclusive or have all-inclusive money, he still have a choice to say, I still want to do my old school mass and pay the cheaper price.
Yeah. Dexter.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I totally agree. You can. It's about offering packages.
Yeah.
Everybody can afford $3,000 a costume, but there are persons who would prefer to play Blondie, but they only spend $1,000. There's some who spend $500, and you can tailor your packages to suit that. There are persons who want to drink black, persons who want to drink Ciroc, and you got to target your market to that.
Yeah.
If not, you lose. If not, you'll be sitting down. I want to jump quickly into something else. I've seen a good brother of mine writing on Facebook complaining that Rick's Bar used to run the thing uptown, boy. Nobody in town. People ain't liming uptown no more because that is what they do every Friday. People liming Heritage Square every Friday. Ain't nothing new. Guys not coming home from Toronto and Montreal and New York and Boston and Miami to lime uptown. They're going out to the all-inclusive fets. That is a vibe. They have a choice whether they want to do a Solaris type thing, a breakfast thing, to a brunch thing.
Yeah.
Some of the brunches starting in the afternoon, but they ain't brunch no more, but people still going with the vibe.
And Dexter, would you say that's partly because they don't have the opportunity to do that in Toronto or New York or London? Would you say that? In terms of,
but of course, I mean, okay. I got a lot of relatives who come home for Carnival, and in the States they don't have the opportunity to do that. You're gonna have a 10 days where you can just chill, go on the beach during the day, party in the afternoon or the night, and it's in a safe environment. And we could market our safety. And those who don't want to shoot me down talking about, but with the amount of murders in St. Vincent, you don't hear no murders in none of them bands. The police on the street, when the police stopped me going Camden Park the other day, I was proud of them. They stop people, they go through their cars, so now, and they take, well, there seem like a lot of guys are doing sewing classes, they have a lot of scissors. But some other guys seem to be fishermen or hunters. There are some serious kind of knives and three-seam cutlass and thing in the vehicle. I know where the hell you're going with them. So I commend the police on that. So I'm saying, so Vinci Masquerade Marketed it's a 10 days of vibe in safety. I'm not a rum drinker, but as one marketer who close to me told me, yeah, the boy, the XC is a vibe. The strong rum thing is a vibe.
Let me put it to you as you're there. Let me put this question out, and I want all you guys to respond. The Calypsonian and the pan players would say they spend so much and spend so many hours preparing for the carnival, and yet they end up being broke at the end of the season. What advice would you give to them, and how do you address that?
Well, look, steel band is expensive. And our carnival, the traditional elements of carnival can't be forgotten. How do you deal with the steel band? We got to ensure that steel bands are sponsored. There has to be a partnership between the private sector, which makes money off carnival, and the Department of Culture and the CDC.
Except I'm putting it to you, that's no guarantee. So in order to ensure, let me ask you, in order to ensure that those components create the environment and feel satisfied at the end of the season, what do you do? Or who should do what? Should there be a deliberate effort by those in authority, or should the private sector be required to be more conscious of the rewards that they get from Carnival? I mean, so I'm posing these questions, and I want you guys to respond in a very frank and honest way.
Cecil, I'm being provocative. The private sector knows the responsibility when they have elections.
You're right there.
They put money in that. The same way you're not shaking down anybody, but you can negotiate with people and the private sector, because they all make money during Carnival. Everybody. The supermarkets,
strong rum.
I think the strong rum people signed a contract with him, brother.
It's also
he's getting good money for it. I think I saw in media where they signed a contract with him, and he could become the face of the distillery. I think. I mean, but I hope he signed a proper contract. Or we had a lawyer sit down with him when he's doing that, because our friend Beckett got a reputation as being what he had to deal with, because Beckett negotiates, takes care of his of his products, And our artists need to do that. I mean, I can go on all morning, but I don't have all morning. That was for the CDC, but they got the memo too early, you know. So I hope the memo tells them they can call in anyhow, because they would want to rebut some of what I'm saying. I just want to say quickly before I go, though, Carnival is mass and music, Carnival is Calypso. Carnival is mass with a brass band. Carnival is peace. And it's free. Beckett sang that way back when he came in, and he won the Calypso Monarch crown with that.
Yes, that was 77.
We got to
was that 77 or 79? I'm not sure. But anyway, go ahead.
I think that was 76.
Anyway, it's all right. It's all right. We could find out. We could find out
before we switch to 77. Yeah, but the other thing I want to say quickly, right? Where CDC would have to take. It will have to take into consideration. I'm sure they'll be doing it. People are complaining that the start times for your show. You can't tell people gates open 7 o'clock and your show starting 11 in the night. If you had 10 people who bought tickets to the Soca Monarch, they have no right to be sitting in the park with nothing happening on stage unless you're feeding them a serious gourmet meal every 2 hours. We have to be serious. If you're selling your shows for TV, VC3 is streaming these things. You can have somebody like Wiseman who are not waiting to call 4 o'clock in the morning in England, waiting to see the show, and the show won't start here. We got to get over that. You can't, this thing about, the tail can't wag the dog. You can't see starting your show because the audience ain't coming. The year you start your show and you run your Soca Monarch from, say, 10 o'clock in the night, if you decide that's the time you're starting it. And all them people be next year, they're all going to come to the park early because they don't want to miss seeing the top parties. But we got to get over that foolishness where the show starting late, and that's why the park is empty. That park is empty. Cecil, I can tell you every year.
Dexter, I say you must strip the people in them. Instead of having the groovy soca first, you had the soca power soca first. So when they come back,
no, you don't have to trick. No, you don't have to trick them. You just do what you advertise. That the show starts at 10 o'clock.
Run the schedule tight.
The show starts at 10 o'clock.
Mm-hmm.
And you can have this foolishness where people in the park. I left these semis 1:30 and my friend Hero singing. Because I ain't going to them nonsense no more. I don't have to feel like a zombie next morning because I choose to go to a show. And that's the reason in the park, Kojo, I know who all the meeting in the park every year for semis and the finals, you know.
I could tell you that
Me,
too.
you, I can tell you who all Leroy Lowell, and I can tell you who all in the park.
Yeah, we could tell. We know the number. That's why I advocate for the show to be at the crucial part, because it was so intimated that all of us could have been in one, because you might be over in one corner, I over here, and we all discuss Calypso. But because
and it happens every year.
Yeah.
Dexter, I just got information about when Beckett won the crown, and that's from a source who knows well. 1975 was when he sang that song, the same one you just sang there.
Yeah.
And he won.
1975. It's a classic. It's a classic, you know, and you know, guys, there's so much that can happen. I mean, like, for those old people who are still mourning about people in alignment uptown, guys, get with it. Our carnival, the way we party has changed. The people who dance in the wajang and the dapping and thing, that's a whole lot of Vinci vibe that we can market.
Yeah.
I think only dance in the wajang, the other ones the dapping. These young people on a different vibe. Totally.
But I want, just before you leave, I want to take you back to the point that I introduced about how do we ensure that the basic element, those who represent the basic components of Carnival, Panmen, Calypso, how do we ensure that we don't lose them when they realize their pockets, at the end of the thing, their pockets are still empty, their pockets still have a hole? Whose responsibility and how do we keep them?
Yeah, Cecil, I was saying that. I saw where one private private fete organizer posted a letter on Facebook. She said like they pay about $25,000 or something like that in taxes, of VAT to the government. Now all that money can't just go. They go to the government coffers, yes, but after that has to be a recognition that it comes from the culture, from carnival, from pan, mass. The same Calypso, some people say, oh, they're boring, but it comes from them. Ain't no carnival without that. Because if you just organize private fetes alone, that can happen anytime. It happens at Independence, it happens at Easter, it happens your state time. But carnival is a different vibe. So the government has to make sure, the Ministry of Culture has to make sure that bands, steel bands, not scrunting for sponsorships, that tents should have more than just 3 performances. I don't see why the tents should not be performing from say March, from before that, from on the phone. Yeah, I don't see why you can't ensure that our carnival starts earlier. The Calypsonians would be much better if they start performing, going around the country, putting on performances. The tent don't have to be the entire 20 fellas. You can go around you can rotate six perform a week in different parts of the country. So by the time the guys come to the judging night, the preliminary judging night, they're ready. Now we got to rethink this.
I heard Fire Empress in a posting said that she spent upwards of $20,000 for Soca Man alone in terms of her outfit and the personnel, her team and so on. Do you think is it possible that the government could bear all of those things in mind? You there?
Yeah. Well, I mean, you got your investment. The investment got to be matched by your expectations, and one has to be realistic.
Yeah.
So I mean, but Fire Empress has a different approach to this thing. There's some guys who spend some serious money recording for Carnival, and it comes with the territory. I've got a young nephew who I'm quite proud of, Bongo Prime, who I know he spends money to record and stuff before Carnival because he's taking this on another level. And I like a lot of the young guys to see what person like him and Dimes and Pixel and those guys are doing. Some of these guys doing some serious efforts into the recording and investment. If they don't, and now we got to find ways of making sure they got to find ways, because business, of making sure that they can make money. Because their market can't be just investing in the Grenadines. They got to make sure they can get into a crop over, they can get into St. Lucia Carnival and get into Spice Mass. They can go to Trinidad, they can get to Brooklyn, But that's how it is. This thing has changed. This is serious business,
But hasn't it always been serious business?
Yeah, it's the economics of Carnival.
It was just fun before.
Yeah.
Go quickly. Because I don't want to monopolize this thing.
Yes, go ahead.
The issues of the traditional mass. No, I would love to see, and this is what the CDC has to organize. The Ministry of Culture has to ensure this. You have to see that when, for instance, when you have some of those dead periods before Calypsonians, so let's see a maypole performance on stage. Let's see a boozy back. Let's see these performances on stage, on the street. This has to be organized. This can't be just left to, if you want to maintain the old cultural elements, it has to be a sort out process, But we got a good product that we could continue to build on, and I expect that we would continue doing well. We don't party normal.
Well, of course, as Andre said earlier, and I have identified a long time, as you just said, we don't party normal. And it's the energy component which constitutes the uniqueness of Vincy Mass.
Yep. Because, I've done Carnival and Trinidad is much bigger. A good thing, and Andrew could comment on this, we are smaller, so a lot more happening in a small space. You can touch 3 and 4 fetes in a night with no problem.
Facts.
And spend the money.
And spend the money.
All right.
Okay, guys.
All right,
I
Dexter,
wanna hear
thanks a
other
lot.
people calling.
Awesome.
Good input. Thanks.
Thanks, man.
All right.
In terms of the parties, I was going to my hotel, and within that Annisville block alone, there were 3 or 4 parties going on.
Yeah.
Different parties, and they all looked like they were doing well.
Go ahead.
No, you.
Yeah, I want to touch on something that I think is very important.
Yes.
What Dexter was saying. When it comes to the cultural aspect of carnival, soca artists, calypsonians, mass bands, we have to have a goal and a vision, right? I've been doing carnival for, let's just say, over 20 years now. And I've been to islands, starting to say with even Vinci, where you have your reigning soca monarch, and he will be the king or the ruler of the land. I won't call any names, right? But he's happy to be the ruler.
That's fine, man. Hooper,
Yeah.
Anyway.
So I came 2011, Soca Monarch, and I saw Skinny Fabulous come and put on a massive international performance. I think he flew off in a space suit, some craziness, right?
I think he landed in a helicopter.
Came on and then spent a lot of money.
Yeah.
Didn't expect anything back, but it was an international performance for an international show. Then Fireman Hooper that year did, I think, a song called Animal. Zero, I want to say next to nothing in production. There's a bunch of pig heads and wildness on stage and people just dancing. He won. I was shocked that he won, but Vinci at that time, and still to today, is very much about the underdog, or I want to say the person who is as grassroots, right? But Skinny Fabulous had a vision. I would like to be doing this thing outside of St. Vincent. I want to be in the International Soca Monarch in Trinidad and Tobago on that level. I want to be in Barbados, Miami Carnival. I think a lot of the artists in a lot of our islands are happy just being number one locally. And we have to come out of that mindset. And they will walk around proud and not want to talk to you. You know, they're in a good space. They're going to win everything locally. But when Vinci done and Vinci Mas done, they also done. And the other artists will then carry on and go to New York Labor Day, Miami Carnival, Barbados, London Notting Hill, and Trinidad Carnival, and see revenue off of their work year round. And I want to put this message out to anybody who's in the industry. Just think about the big picture. Don't just think about being the ruler of the land or being the best locally. Think about being the best globally, internationally. Whether it's a mass band, whether you're artists, whether you're doing costume design, just don't design costumes for people in Vinci. You could be designing costumes for people across the world for Carnival, which is now what's happening. And we could also use resources.
You mean for Vinci Mas?
You could design costumes for Vinci Mas, but you should also be designing costumes for, say, Miami Carnival,
I see.
for Notting Hill Carnival, for Trinidad Carnival. Someone should call and say, hey, Kojo, I like what you did. I want it in Barbados. I want to work with you. And vice versa. Hey, I want to call someone from Lost Tribe in Trinidad because I like the energy and the culture. And they could do designs that will elevate my band. And we could all cross-pollinate. But it's true.
I want to play now the clip of the winners for this year and then see how they stack up to all that we've been saying so far.
Well, I remember when the story starts. For 25 years we walk in the line. Promises sweet like sugar and lime. Every election is the same old rhyme. Better days coming, just give me time. School roof a leaking when the rain start fall. Youth man liming by the rum shop wall. Hospital crying, building a fall. But every 5 years he calling me all. He say, comrade, don't abandon me. Stand up strong in your unity. But unity couldn't pay groceries. And unity couldn't stop a robbing weed. country feel like the future look bright. Everybody happy since we got rid of the ULD. Them guys look distasteful, greedy and disrespectful. What a bunch, them alone, we say eat the lunch. They give me real pressure, I had to eat my bread without butter. Cause plenty comment, that's why we have to change government. Okay? I said we don't want no more wickedness. We don't want no more damn stupidness. We won't go to presentation. No more corruption. We want a good government. Or I will have to win. Mr. Friday come real good. No matter come good or a picking up the food. Dr. Friday come real good. I hope this is understood or I'm pulling out my boot. Really? What?
War is a conflict between nation states and groups, politically motivated with military and organized troops. It's a struggle, a hostile battle, sometimes no one could ever predict. When will it start or when will it end? Or what's the reason for it? Now we here in the Caribbean, look at international states. War raging every day, bloodshedding, how much more can the world take? Never once did we imagine that since we're so far removed, war could be right in we waters with some nations hosting platoons. Hey, dandane. Any woman, girlfriend or wife, what they searching for most in life? Yeah, they want a good man. They're looking for a good man. But did they ever begin their search in a temple of Moscow church? No, for this good man, this really good man. But if they stop to check out these solid facts, they start the search looking for a six-pack. A man with all his body parts hard and trim. So most of them begin their search in the chain. But when his eyes start to wander, the marriage start to flounder. Hear them, old man is dog. Mix up with hug. You didn't search for no values. You didn't check out his virtues. No, you wanted run. So take your horn.
Special. It's the fusion again. Yeah. It's the fusion again. Yeah. This is a special part of me. I won't let it go at all. This music is for all the way. This is a special part of me. It's flowing through your veins. So guys, it's here to stay. It's here to stay. Ain't going nowhere. So guys, it's here to stay. It's here to stay. Here to stay. For the ones that before us who started the journey, put the pen to the paper, drop the structure for me. And you see soca music, it's embedded in my blood, and it can never die. No, now put your hands up to the sky, raise it, show them that you claim it. Don't even try to debate it. Hey, 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 correct. Hey, out the timing. Hey, put your hands in the air. Hey, alcohol, never give me all. Never bother with nobody. Never let telling you, I'm telling you, telling you, I'm telling you, telling you, I'm telling you, telling you, give me what I need. Telling you, I'm telling you, telling you, I'm telling you, telling you, I'm telling you, telling you. This man by the gate, he wasting with time. Watching we blocking traffic, slowing down the line. He tell we must wait. He looking to find weapon and drugs and thing, but we ain't come here to fight. Move out the way and ease up the line, man. Let the ladies pass through. Let the man them wait. And the party getting on bad. Two people jumping out by the gate. People just want to enjoy themselves. Nobody do all late. Plus the music from the band sweet too. Turn it up like a shake. That bumper they big is like a soca stage show. If you see the scene, it end up on the radio. I just wanna feel it. I tell you it real. I'm telling you. Bad. Yeah. Chungan. Behave yourself. What does it mean to be independent? How about a dangle like pennant? Sunset of independent, make grandpa jig off your pension. Just to ease your tension, we chain that rum without pardon. People balling no caution, but we don't care with some mad. My granny said, do not drink no rum, carnival Tuesday. Well, you should hide the rum bottle somewhere. Cause when it gets seen, it gets shell same way. It gets shell the same day. Cause it's a rum island. We love we rum, we drinking rum. This is a rum island. We drinking rum just for fun. This is a rum island. It cannot done. We love we rum. This is a rum island. We drinking rum just for fun. What? You see how them fronted? Me not trouble them. And them just a trouble on me. I said me do things what me never do. I said me do this and me do that like a. Shut your mouth. Shut your mouth. Shut your mouth. Shut your mouth. What if? Watch me. The XDP. Party bad. Thing nice. We ready for the. We ready for the. We ready for the. We better than all of them. We ready for the. We ready for the. We wailing out like this the last time. To the boss. To the boss. To the boss. Jumping up like this the last time. To the boss. To the boss. To the boss. Move on the way. Let me enjoy today on this stage and imprint a memory. Just give me space. I come to celebrate anyway, cause this is the legacy. So you could watch me, watch me have the time of my life, the time of my life. You could watch me have the time of my life, the time of my life. You could watch me to the most, to the most, to the most. I don't business if you watch me to the most, to the most, to the most. You tell me. Put something up in the air. What time is it? Party. I said, what time is it? Party. What time is it? Party. I said, what time is it? Party. I come to dance. I come to fat, come to get on and enjoy myself. Enjoy yourself a fight. Don't care about stress. Don't care about no bad vibes. No corners. Why? Cause this is my Wind up on them. I'm working them. I tapping them. Come on, ladies, no cussing on the fighting, please. Let's share between holding up that's in your jeans, yeah. Come on, ladies, no cussing on the fighting, please. Let's share between holding up that's in.
Yeah, I have to stop it there. But I want to go straight to, I want to pose a question, go straight to what Andre said, was suggesting earlier. Andre, of these tunes, of these songs we've been hearing, you think they can all, or one or two of them can stand up in every, across markets?
Yes. So some of them definitely can. Okay. Yeah.
Well, we heard the Calypsos as a category, and then we heard the soca and groovy soca.
Not groovy soca, raga soca.
Raga soca, sorry. I stand corrected. Okay. Well, let me put it to Andre. Sorry, not to Andre, to Holder. In your opinion, which of those songs you would consider relevant or appropriate for international markets?
Well, one of these songs that I liked, and I was surprised it didn't do better at the Raga Soca competition, was I think they call it Stage Show by Sean Beats. I didn't even realize it was a song from St. Vincent when I first heard it. And the thing is, a song is made at the beginning, the middle, and at the end. And when that song started, it captured me immediately. And I attended a show and he performed, and that is when I realized that it was a song from St. Vincent, and it was really, really, really well written. I loved the melody of the song. Also, I think Polygamy, that I think placed second for the road march. That was also a very good song. Problem Child, Party Time, of course, every year. I've said it, that Problem Child for the last 3 years wrote the road march. So every year now I look forward to hearing what Problem Child is going to sing, because I always say, yeah, that is going to be the road march. So for me, I think those 3 songs can be marketed well internationally.
Yeah, well, Andrew, you're suggesting that I should name the songs and the performers, but actually I don't know. That's the reason I didn't do it. Some of the Calypsonians, I think the first one we heard was from Bailey.
Yeah.
Lift Me Up. Yeah, and then the second one that
from
Patches.
Bullwood or Bull Pistol, right?
Well, that is what it's called?
Yeah, Bullwood.
Okay.
Yeah, it's
the
called
third one was from Chanel Mackenzie.
At Our Doorstep.
Yeah. And the fourth one was Fire Empress.
Yeah.
Those I recognize.
I think it's called The Search or something like that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But of those, let's go of those. Which of them can play in any market, you think?
Well,
because I thought 2 of them were very local.
Yeah, 2 is local.
The
and
first 2.
Like Fire Press song, Man Search, or whatever you want to call it. That could be sung in any country, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And at Our Doorsteps too, even though it might have some local in it, it could be sung in Trinidad, it could be sung in Grenada.
Regional, yeah.
Right.
But Bullwood now is basically
it's about the election. Yeah,
right?
because that's the thing with Calypso, right? Most of the time it's social commentary.
Yeah.
So it's very local to what's going on in that country at the particular time, which means it's going to stay local because it won't resonate with another island or country at the time.
Somebody in Trinidad might like it, but that doesn't mean that they're going to hire you to come and perform it.
Right.
You know.
Okay.
Versus soca.
The soca that we heard. What is the first one? Don't remember the first one. That was played.
You mean Power Soca or the Raga Soca? Because I think you played the Raga Soca first.
Okay, which one was that? I don't remember.
I think the one who won Soca's Here to Stay.
Oh, Fusion. Something Fusion.
Yeah.
The Fusion,
Right.
That's right.
Which is a great message, huh?
Yeah.
Definitely catchy.
But you know the part that catch me? when he came up on stage and he pulled out that guitar, I'm like, damn.
Okay.
I've never seen a soca artist pull out a guitar and start playing, you know.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean,
So he actually played along.
Yeah, he just moved it.
Like a rock star guitar.
It
wasn't a regular guitar.
He just moved the
like
performance
electric guitar.
from here to there, like instantly.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Okay. Holder, your reaction to that?
Yeah, the thing is, to be honest, I didn't know who Fusion was until he won. I've seen him before because he would be the MC in one of the tents. So when I heard his performance, I was very impressed. I was like, wow, it goes beyond being comical in the tents, and the performance was one of a kind. I enjoyed his performance a lot.
Okay. Oh, who was the winner in the Power Soca?
Diffusion. He won.
He won.
Oh, sorry.
Raga was there. Power was Rum Island. Jasper.
Yeah.
Jasper won for the
Jasper won the
Power. But he won the Rum Island.
Rum Island. But if you listen to Rum Island, you know, there's some serious commentary in it.
I know.
The lyrics very.
I
don't even understand the lyrics. I had to go back and watch one of his videos where he dissected the song and explained the lyrics.
Yeah,
brilliant.
It has some serious commentary in it.
Brilliant.
When he says his grandpa will drink off his pension.
Yeah. No, the lyrics are sharp.
Max, when you're laughing, what are you laughing about?
Can I tell you how I got to know the lyrics? I was watching a graduation and Pastor Brent started quoting the lyrics, and that is when I had an appreciation.
Pastor?
I think so.
Yeah.
He knows everyone. Yes.
And that is how I got to know the lyrics, because I was hearing the beat and I was like, oh, that's a good song, but I never really paid attention to it until Pastor Brent was at this graduation and he's like, you know, I heard this song, and then he started quoting the lyrics and I'm like, that is what it was saying. Yeah. And I find that is like a yearly thing with Pastor Brent now, because I wouldn't pay attention to these songs until later on in the season, but during graduation season, Pastor Brent will select one and he would start quoting it, and that is how a lot of Vincentians actually would have an appreciation for the lyrics.
Well, actually, I heard him singing too. I heard him singing one by Problem Child.
Yeah,
yes, Rosalie.
Yes.
But you know, strange enough, that it's always funny that some artists try to push a particular song for road march, and then the song that they didn't want to push,
that's the one
take over. Because I think that happened to Beckett once.
Beckett happened to Beckett
with Girl Rush Me. I think he was trying to push Girl Rush Me.
Also
and
with
then Teaser came and take over.
He did it twice. Once with Screws and Tickles. You remember that one?
No.
Anyway.
But I think Beckett and Problem Child had the same.
Brian Alexander's name is in that one, Screws.
Okay. I think Problem Child and Beckett have the same issue with late arrival songs. Because Wind Down Kingston was kind of like last minute hit. And Party Animal was the same too, because Party Animal got played the very first time it was in Soca Monarch.
That's Scorcher.
No, that was Problem Child. Party Animal.
That one, that's right.
The first time people heard that was in Soca Monarch and I get Road March.
Yeah. So this one, the Rum Island one. Remind us again the name. I don't remember.
Jasper.
Yes.
And that's what I love about Vinci. This is a young artist, I want to say. I don't know how long he's been doing it. And he came and he won Soca Monarch. These things really don't happen in other islands, right? They want to always gatekeep how much years they're doing it, who are the big dogs, should that person win because they now start last year. But in Vinci, a hit is a hit. The people speak. If you have the song of the year, whether you start yesterday, you're doing it for 30, 40, 50 years, you're going to win. No bias, no judgment. And I love that about Vinci. So for the fact that Jasper came, Rum Island came and he won, and it was a big...
The Calypso Monarch too.
Same.
first year.
I love that about you guys. I love that because it's so still pure and real. It's like you guys not trying to say, you know, this man ain't paying his dues. She ain't paying her dues. You know, she can't win. And, you know, we cannot change it so they come second or third. And then next year we might give them a blight. Whoever's too good, again.
We were having having a little humor coming our way, saying some Calypso needs a pension now. Because they've been singing so long, they haven't won anything. You need to give them something. Say, okay, well, here's a king. Can you do this?
Man, no, but you guys have that. I love that pureness still. That if you really do good, you'll get rewarded.
Let's invite persons to call now to make their own contribution to what they've brought over the last 20 minutes or so, half an hour. So 457-997 is the number to call to contribute to the discussions this morning. 457-9997, that's the straight line as well as the WhatsApp line. Good afternoon, welcome to the program.
Yeah, Kojo said that the first time Party Animal was heard was when it was played at Sokoma. Did you say that, Kojo?
I said that's the first time I think it was played in Park, Sokoma, Party Animal.
No, that's it was out. It was out in the same week. It was out before that. It might have come out late, but that wasn't the first time it was heard. It was heard during the week.
All right. Okay.
Well, you might have heard it, but I tell you what
you didn't hear it.
The mass of people heard it on Sokomonak. Most people heard it that time. So if you had a sneak preview of it, I don't know, but I
was there.
Well, go on from there. Don't argue. Let's not argue about that. That's a small point. Go on.
The late start to shows is a Caribbean thing, you know. Barclays Center in Brooklyn. The ordinary pop show may start 8 o'clock over by 11 or so. Certainly before 12. Those Caribbean shows, they start like 9:30. They're going on till after 12. The first time Marshall won the crown at Hazy Crawford, the results came out after 5 in the morning. I was in St. Kitts 2 weeks ago. The show ended 5:30 in the morning. Reggae Sunsplash, Tony, Rebel Salute in Jamaica, they go on till after 7 in the morning. Dominica Creole Festival, Bungie Garland came on after 5 in the morning. It's a Caribbean thing. There's one positive thing to coming out late. It is one positive thing. It's not a lot positive, but it's a minor positive. Is that you're able to get transport. You're able to get transport. It's safer leaving your venue 7 o'clock in the morning. Lights are up, people on the street. You could get transport to go home, and it's safer. You could be a victim of crime coming home late in the night, but coming home early that morning, less chances. It could happen sooner, but it's less chances.
You're saying it's a Caribbean thing, but if you could have seen Jasper perform Rum Island at 4 a.m. and see the performance versus 6 a.m. and you could have been in your bed at 6 a.m., which one you want?
I want to be home. I don't want to be out there 7 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, I want to be in my bed. I want to be in my bed by 5, 6 and see it.
I'm telling you, it's not unique to St. Vincent.
Yeah, no, it's not. Stuff. But as a Caribbean as a whole, because we can't just accept it because it's a Caribbean thing. I think that was the conversation earlier, you know?
Kojo said I should do the Sokomanic post. I'll put fireman out.
I thought about that, but everybody might go home after the power.
It's not going to work.
And then the groovy people will be complaining.
Because if I want to see fireman.
The only reason why I said that is that if I went to Victoria Park, I see a whole lot of people sitting down outside. They're not coming in the park. So the park is not
until fireman.
Until power.
Hold on, my friend. Just allow Kojo to finish.
Till the power soaker happen. So in order to get people, you could mix it up. You could do half of the power soaker, half of the wagon, and then go back half. I mean, you people have to come into the park. You can't tell me that you're gonna suffer the park because the bar is not selling the bar, and a lot of them people ain't coming to buy. Them young people ain't really big in the drinking department, you know. That's why they sit them outside. They get it. cheaper drinks outside. They get tight outside. They're gonna get high and everything. So when they come in the park, they come with the hype already. They ain't coming
some people come to see a particular artist. So if the artist performing that early period, they may not even come in the show again after that. I don't want to come again.
Listen to me. When I buy a ticket, right? The ticket says a certain time. You basically have a contract with that person when you buy that ticket saying your show is going to start at 7 o'clock. You actually have a contract with that person. They give you some money and you give them a ticket and you say that show starts at 7. When that person show up at 7 o'clock and the show is not start, they could ask back for the money. Legally, they could come back and ask you for the money. Because your show is not starting the time it's supposed to. I leave my house to come to a show that's supposed to start at 7. When it starts at 11 o'clock, that's the time I probably planning to go back home.
Yeah.
All right, my friend. Thanks for calling.
Later.
Okay. Gentlemen, time goes fast when you're having fun.
Especially with sunset rum.
I think he loved the sunset rum. Have you been drinking it a lot?
No. I learned the hard way. I learned the hard way.
Okay, you don't touch it already.
I touch it.
I just have a few WhatsApp messages to read out. Somebody saying that the person has his or her Beckett t-shirt still, I believe from 1983. Still has the Beckett t-shirt.
Is it like Sir Beckett? Has he been knighted? Beckett?
No, he's doctor.
Doctor.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
The only thing about Beckett, I is the one who designed his 10 years t-shirt for Rick Bar.
You did?
Yeah, Rick did 10 years, and that was Beckett sing the 10 years that year.
Okay. And I need to read another WhatsApp message that came in earlier. But the person was saying, good morning, gentlemen. Not sure if you dealt with the matter concerning the constitutional motion that was to be debated in Parliament 2 Thursdays ago, but I'm still eager to learn what was the outcome of that agenda item on the day. Grateful for your feedback.
I don't think it happened, right?
No, I don't think so. We have a call. Let's just go to this call. Good afternoon. Welcome to the program.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon to all on the panel. I just want to, I don't want to take up much time on the program, but I just want to respond to 2 things that I heard mentioned there. Andre, how things going, man? Any jungle juice in the house?
Hey.
But tell us who you are so we know who is responding. SZ, greetings.
SZ.
Yeah.
The point made by Kojo about the splitting of this raga soca and soca monarch competition, as in putting the soca segment first, but you was making the point about splitting it in 2. So you put some power soca, then you do raga, then back to power, and then raga. We have to bear in mind the practicality of that, right? Because different set of judges with different judging criteria in front of them. So it means that you're saying, put half of the show to take place, remove those judges, you go to power, then remove those judges, bring back the raga judges, and then you do the same again. So that really isn't practical from that sense. And most of all, for the patrons, remember, patrons come, they pay the money to come to a party. You're going to bring them up hype with the power soca, as you say, because I don't say put soca, because that's what we have. I don't really like that power soca thing. I don't really care that. So we have soca, right? Kojo corrected somebody just now who said groovy, and you say it's raga soca. We have raga soca and soca, right? Not power soca, but that's what I heard everybody on the panel say. But I'm looking at the up and down in terms of the audience, and how are they going to receive having some power soca, as you're saying, which is soca. Then you go to raga, which you take them down, because it's slow beat, and then you take them back up, and then you take them down. The way the competition is structured now, you have the slow version of it, which is the raga soca element first, and then you take people of hype. So once the hype starts, you maintain the hype until the end of the show. So from a patron standpoint, there would not be appreciation for that type of up and down kind of momentum within the event, right? That's one. The other point I want to talk about is the songs that were played earlier on. And you mentioned, you asked, I think Ryan asked, which of these songs would make it internationally, or any songs from St. Vincent during the 50 seasons, right? So these would make it regionally or internationally. And I heard reference made just to the songs that were placed in competition. But I want to caution persons, right, that we must not only look at the songs that entered in competition, because a lot of artists make songs, they're not in competition, but the songs are just as good or better than, depends on how you make the comparison. And sometimes the songs that make it big outside of St. Vincent are not necessarily the songs that were entered in competition. You know, I must remind persons that Tonyon, the biggest song, soca song out of St. Vincent to date, was never entered in competition. Kevin Little was not a competitor in Raga Soca, and he went on to have any biggest song in the world. In terms, so let us not look at the songs that could make it regionally or internationally, just based on the ones that were entered in competition or the top contenders in competition only. But look outside generally within the pool that was released for this season. So that there are other things that I get to it, but I don't want to hug the program. I get other callers want to get it.
Well, it's a pity you didn't call earlier, so we will give you more time because essentially we have come to the end. But
I just wanted to say, Ezzy, I was only making that comment because the park is so empty before the power soca. I was just saying it to get people to come into the park. You need to do something. You need to shake up the thing somehow. And that was just a suggestion.
Well, I'm sure Kojo, they would find a way to do it. CDC will eventually
make Raga Soca great again. No, I'm just kidding. No, once the Raga Soca, once there are people in the Raga Soca segment that people are looking forward to seeing and hearing, people will get there early. And obviously you could have some guest artists also come and plug them in early. Hey, we have problem with Skinny performing to open the show, or foreign act or local act. But there's several ways. But once it's good entertainment, people will show.
How about all-inclusive?
And that's what I'm saying. On all-inclusive.
An all-inclusive concept might help them.
And that's why I said cities need to piggyback off of this private parties and create something in the Victoria Park to bring people into the park.
Independence Park.
Right. What I would just add quickly, is what would be nice, what we really need to see happening is for more promotion of the Vinci Marsh events by the promoters. So, for example, you're doing these two parties before Soca Monarch, that you have constant promotion of Soca Monarch going on throughout those the two parties which are held on that night.
Right.
So you put, I mean, I know for sure this year, a lot of persons who went to those two parties prior to Soca Monarch, they actually came to Soca Monarch afterwards, you know. But that's what we need to do, ensure that at these events that the promoters assist with the promotions of the CDC organized activities and events being held, whether the same day or the following day, you know. All right.
All right. Thanks for calling.
Yeah, but good analysis, Andre. You're giving a good perspective. I'm happy to see you on the panel because you're a person who traveled throughout the region and traveled to international destinations where carnivals are being hosted. And you're in a position to make comparisons and to give your honest assessment of what you've been seeing, having been to Vinci Marks for the last 4 years consecutively.
Indeed.
All right, thanks.
All right, thanks for calling.
Thanks, Cecil.
So Maxron, hold on. Any final comments you want to contribute?
Yeah, I must say that this year, I must commend the CDC for a good carnival this year. Also private events, because what I found this year is that every private event, a lot of persons were looking forward to them with much anticipation, whether it was because a guest artist was going to be there, and equally so, CDC events, I know a lot of people were looking forward to Soca Monarch, Jasper's performance and so on. And even leading up to Carnival, I'm not sure if many of you saw, but there were decorations throughout Kingstown, Sion Hill. I think I saw some on the tarmac. And it was really a very good Vinci Mass this year. I enjoyed for the most part. I was unwell for a few days at the beginning, but for the latter part, I must say Vinci Mass this year was a success.
Final comments, Andre?
Yeah, I want to echo on that because coming out, so this is my 4th year, and last year Vincy Mas was very high, like 9.9 out of 10 high, and I was saying, could they match or beat what they did last year? And since Carnival Tuesday has finished, Vincy's music has been living rent-free in my head. I can't sleep at night. It's what time is it? Party, Rosalie, the Rum Island. It's you guys like out there, like y'all met and exceeded what I expected. So kudos to that. And the CDC, I know a lot of people are looking at the events they do on Soca Monarch and whatnot, Pan. But beyond that, they spend a lot of time and energy before the carnival, marketing it in other regions, Trinidad, Grenada, other islands, letting people know, hey, Vincy Mas is the hottest carnival in the Caribbean. And working with them, and they've given us a shot to show the world what's going on in Vincy is a big deal, because if the tree fall in the forest and no one there to see it, you understand? So when Trini Jungle Juice is here to show our audience what's happening in Vincy, the secret sauce, then hotels, flights, everybody's booked for next year and the year after. So kudos to CDC as well for putting the marketing engine in place to also support what they're doing and show the world that Vincy Mas is the hottest carnival in the Caribbean. Yeah.
Kojo, final words?
Well, my final word is, as I say, I just hope we could find somewhere we could get people into the Independence Park. Because, I mean, outside of Soca Monarch, the participation is very low. And I mean, like the king and queen of the bands, and that's my thing. Yeah. So I haven't talking on my side of the thing. It's not.
You mean the costumes?
The costumes and all that stuff. It's not enough people. Like Steel and Glitter, basically is most of the people who've taken part in the show is in the park. So I don't know what CDC need to do. As I said, they need to make it inclusive, all inclusive. People come to the park, they don't have to spend no more money. You charge them one money. They come in the park, they get the drinks, they get little finger food, like little snacks and things like that. You don't have to have a whole big set of meal. And some idea I had in my head too is a lot of those bars on those food places up on Heritage Square, they do a lot of food. Somehow you could incorporate them to make them supply the food for the park, and work up something, do something, make people come to the Independence Park. And
for pan,
for costumes and
the Maxron,
for everything.
Kings and Queens.
I mean, I looked at Trinidad this year, and Trinidad, even the audience are going down in those areas too.
Yeah.
They're not people.
Except Panorama, Except
Panorama.
Right. Yeah. You know what's strange for me? Carnival Tuesday, the park was free, and there was nobody in the park.
Yeah.
Free.
Well, they say the same thing on the street, so why come to
that's what I'm saying.
St. Lucia did something very interesting that I would say is innovative. They took the whole cultural shows and they put it the weekend before the actual carnival week. So anybody interested in Pan, Kings and Queens, Soca Monarch, that's this weekend. And then there's the party week, and next weekend is road. So you split the market, so everybody focus on one or the other. The only thing that I'll miss is if you do that, I want to come Carnival Friday and go to Soca Monarch. If it's the weekend before, then I have to come a whole week before. So there's pros and cons, but I agree, Kojo. They have to have a way. How do we get more people out to the cultural side? And we have to be innovative. And there's things that could be done. They have a lot of ideas that could be put in place. Whether it works, that's a different answer. But imagine, for instance, we take a private event. I'm just going to call it like a brunch and soca, or one of these events that, as you mentioned, happens before. And you bring that event to a new venue, and part of this event has the Kings and Queen presentation in the background. So now you're partying and drinking, and you watch, but you see, hey, look, this is now the king, and then the judging. They have an audience. You understand? There's innovative ways we could do. I've seen a lot, and
that's what I'm saying.
How do we bring it together?
That's what you need to do.
Yeah.
Bring that together. So,
how do we bring it together?
Gentlemen, this has been a very rich discussion this morning on East Youth, and it's a pity we can't. It's something that no, it's only, no, but it's been rich, and we have to find a way to have a repeat of this. Not necessarily in the carnival season, but outside, leading up to. it may be a good idea to have a repeat. But we will certainly stay in touch and see how we can make it possible.
Yeah.
In the meantime, I thank you, all of you, very much for being part of the program this morning.
I have to thank
Maxron,
WEFM to having me for the last
Andre from Jungle Juice, Trini Jungle Juice, and Kojo.
Yeah.
You better take a presidency now.
That's what I've been here every weekend now.
Well, that's good. You're a regular caller to all the WFM programs. So we thought we'd bring you in studio and have you occupy somebody's seat and make a contribution.
Thank you for having me.
All right. So thanks a lot, guys. And I want to thank. Yeah, I mentioned Holder before. Yeah, he has given his own piece already. His sum of piece. And I want to thank him as usual. We had a younger than usual guest on the program. Thank you very much for being here. I want to thank the two other radio stations that carry the program, the management of Star FM, Star Radio, and Garifuna Radio. And all the persons who called in and who listened. Thank you very much. We appreciate your support, and we appreciate your own appreciation of Istiotan and WEFM, the clean, fresh sound. Good afternoon. My name is Cecil, and have a good day.